And now we are going to do as before. We need to tell this object, of course, to be the primary, it's the firstborn object upon which every other fold based on B will be offset, okay? So pick reference and of course pick that one. You can see, of course, it updates there. And now we want this object to build up quicker than the original. In other words, we want the B objects to fold quicker than the A object, than the fold A object, okay? To do that, we need to reduce the offset value from 10 to maybe something like 9.6. Okay, this will make it to go faster than before. So let's go ahead then and select, let's see, sorry. Please select all the objects called fold B except the firstborn, okay? So please select only from the second one to the number 17. Remember, the order in which they are selected is very crucial. So I've selected from the first to the last one, okay? And then we click OK, all right? So again, make sure fold B is the one selected and then please click transfer, okay? Now, when you play this back, can you see now, of course, there we go. Look at that, eh? You see, now the B objects are offset and they sort of try and catch up with the fold A objects so that they all close off the structure at the same time. You see that, eh? And that's just wonderful, isn't it? All right. Especially when you're getting it up close like that. And it looks just as organic, of course, as we had promised. All right. Perfect. And save your file, of course. All right. Now, I think this is now where the usefulness of what I was telling you about comes in. You see, now I want to reduce the extrusion to 8.5. And just like that, of course, it updates for all of them. You see, that's really the usefulness of creating instances of things. All right. Great stuff, okay? Next, of course, we then bring on the other fold. Let's go to the display panel and hide by name, and please scroll until you find fold C. There it is. There we go. And there it is, all right? So we decide, of course, on just how quick it needs to be animated. Maybe, let's see, please select that fold C and that one, the original one. Just offset that timing a bit forwards in time, just slightly, okay? Just so that they come in, just so that they come in a bit later. Okay, not too much, but yeah. All right, perfect. So we then select our object C and we delete the extrusion and the shell modifier. Delete those, all right? And of course, we go to the front view there. We go to Tools and Array. Click Preview. Again, there are 17 of them and the value is at 165 in my case. And of course, there are copies, and then we click OK. Perfect. And please scrub somewhere forwards in time when we know they will have built up. And then please select fold C001. Click on editable spline and of course add extrude. There we go. And add shell. There we go. Okay. All right. Now extrusion, I think in this case we're going to go for 10. It's gonna be nice and tall, okay? So select the shell and the extrusion, right click and copy, and of course we do the same for all the fold C objects. Right click, paste instance, there we go. Next one, you know, we keep doing that of course because we want the power to change things at any given time. Okay, because trust me, you don't want to sit and begin to try and adjust the extrusion of each of the folds, while if you just took the time, you could have sorted things out once and for all. Okay, so please keep pasting the modifiers, and I'm going to pause the tutorial until I'm on number 17, okay? And that's my number 16, and of course my number 17. Great stuff, okay? And then please turn this from shaded to shaded with edge faces. That way we can see, of course, where they actually intersect. Okay, that's fine. Turn off edge faces again. And now you can see, of course, what's happening. And again, of course, as before, the offset is happening like all the objects are being animated at once. All right. So we're going to again select the fold C, pick reference, pick that, as you can see, and then the offset, of course, this needs to happen quicker so that it closes off the entire section. So maybe let's go for 9.2. All right, but before we proceed, of course, save your file, and then of course we're going to select from fold C. I'm holding shift and then I'm clicking on fold 17. That way it selects them, excluding of course fold C001. And then I click OK, and of course we click on transfer. Now let's see what we'll get this time. There we go. You see that? Great stuff, eh? So you can see, of course, how the animation's happening. Now you can see I'm not happy with the timing. Maybe 9.2 is too fast. So hence I asked you to save your file, because now I'm going to go back to the previous file which I had saved, you know, and then I'm going to pick that again. Maybe you're happy with your animation, so you might not need to change anything, but I'm not happy with mine, so that's why I'm going back to change things. I will set this to 9.5, okay? And then I'm going to select again from fold C, number 2 to number 17, and I'll click transfer key, just so that there's some kind of a delay before it completely zips up. Yes, now there is, okay? So you see the power of saving files, you know, because you never know what might suit you. Okay, and I don't think I'm still happy with this one. I will do this again. I'll pick that as a reference, and this time I'll tell it to be 10.2. And I will select once again from fold C to 17, and I'll click transfer. That way there's even a bigger delay, so that the final zip really happens much later on, like that, okay? So you see, that's why, you know, you keep saving your files, because you never know what might really suit your needs, okay? And I think I'm definitely happy with this look now, okay? All right, so I'm going to save the file, and then we're going to pull the same miracle on this side here. All right, starting of course with that one as well, or rather, it's actually much easier to do the following. Just select those, and then go to edit and clone, make copies and click OK, and move them to the side, of course. Now of course they have to be at the base of the letter that we need, and I think that's about right, okay? And then of course we start with that one. Now let's see, what do we have? We have A, B, and C. So we can rename this to fold D001, and then this can be renamed to E001, and of course the outer one can be renamed to F001. Okay, great stuff. And then let's hide those outer ones, so that of course we can focus on that one. And of course, as before, let's get rid of the shell and the extrude modifiers on it, and then switch to the front view, go to tools, array, click on preview. There we go, we know we have our copies, and click OK, of course. And yeah, let's begin the task of adding the modifiers. Extrude, click on editable spline. Yeah, add extrude and add shell. There we go. Okay, great stuff. Yeah, so we are back to where we're supposed to be, and then copy those modifiers, of course, and begin the same process of pasting them, the instances, of course. Now, I wish there was a script that could paste the modifiers quick enough, but I don't think there is one, because the problem is we have the slice modifier applied above, you see. So that's the problem. Or else, I'm sure there is a script that could just paste modifiers across, okay? So please keep pasting them on all the fold D objects. And I'm going to pause the tutorial until I'm on 17. Okay, I've finally pasted my number 17. And then, of course, we can adjust the values however we see fit. All right, great stuff. And of course, number one rule, save the file, okay? And now we are going to do things differently. Remember, here we have the growth happening from the bottom going up. Now this time we are going to do the opposite. We are going to grow from the top to the bottom, okay? Just to make our script's usefulness even more interesting. So pick reference now. Instead of picking that as a primary one, of course now we select that one as a primary one, okay? Offset, keep it at 10, all right? Then we are going to highlight, of course, all the objects that are related to D, and let's just see, what's the second one? The second one is, let's see, what's that one? It's number 16 and then 15. So bear in mind the order in which they are, okay? So that's 17, 16, 15, all the way to 1. So we are going to select from 16, 15, 13, like we are now going backwards basically, all the way to number 1, like that. You see, okay? Save your file. And now we know our file is safe, so we can do whatever we want. So please click on transfer. All right. Now let's see what happens now. It's going to be interesting. Boom. You see, now they're building from the top going down. And it's all because we've selected, the reference was the first object at the top there. It was no longer the very first one at the bottom. Okay. So because we changed that, of course, it has changed everything else. All right. Hence causing it to look as if it's building from the top going down. All right. Great stuff. Now let's go to the display panel and hide by name. Please unhide object E. Select it. Get rid of the extrusion and the shell. And of course, go to Tools, Array, click Preview, click OK. All right. And select the very first one, E001. Let me close this window for now. So to this object, we're going to add, of course, extrude, just as before, basically, and shell. Okay, now maybe this time the extrusion you want it to be 8, Again, highlight the modifiers, copy, begin to paste them for each of the objects called E on the editable spline level, of course. All right. So yeah, that's what we just do. All right, keep doing that, of course, until you reach number 17, and I'm going to take a break and pause the tutorial while I keep selecting. Okay, that's what I've done. Let me save my... Now, over here, we are going to go for a much more interesting look. Okay, we don't want them to build up from the top going down now, because we're already seeing that happening on that side. So here, while these rows are building downwards, we want this to join them while they're building upwards, okay? Just to make our animation even more interesting. So we are going to go to make script, run script again. In case you didn't close your window, I closed mine, so that's why I've had to go back to it again. Reference, of course, I want that to be my reference, okay? And then we're going to offset it, let's see, by 9.6 as well, okay? And then let's just see, this is object E. So we are going to select from E002 until, of course, E17. Sorry. Click OK. All right. And then, of course, transfer. All right. So now check what's happening. There we go. So that row is being built downwards. This one is being built upwards. And somewhere along the line, of course, they meet each other. You see that, eh? Isn't this wonderful? Yeah, they meet each other like that. Okay. Great stuff, all right? Then, of course, let me bring this window down, all right? Then, of course, we're going to the display panel again and hide by name, and let's reveal finally this one here. All right. And again, delete the shell and the extrusion. Go to the front viewport, tools, array. By the way, you can create an array in any viewport, but just as I find the front viewport much more easier to work with, because the perspective doesn't always give you the precise height as to which, as to just how tall are you making array, okay? Click on preview, of course, and click OK. All right. And let's start with F001. And click on editable spline and bring back extrude and shell. Okay, and I think this extrusion, of course, needs to be tall as well, so 10, I think. All right, and save your file. And then, of course, we copy the modifiers and we go on and paste again. Okay. And once again, keep doing that, and I'll join you once you've pasted the extrusion and the shell for all the F folds. And by the way, one quick way to select objects quickly is to press H on the keyboard. You see that? It brings up the selection window. Sorry. We are on F. Yeah, I'm just pressing H on the keyboard. You can see it's bringing me the objects, or you can always click there, of course, select by name. You know, just to make the selection process quicker. All right. And finally, there's my 17th one. All right. Save your file. And of course, time to offset things once again. Now, depending, of course, on which direction we want to go, I think this time, of course, we want to flow from the top, of course, to the bottom. Okay. So, we're going to pick reference number F17. And offset, I'm going to set mine to 9.4. Okay. And then we're going to pick the F objects, of course, from number 16 to number 1. Like that. From 16, holding shift, you click 1. Okay. And transfer. There we go. That's what we need there. There we go. Okay. So the object intersect, the close off. Yeah, you see that, eh? Yeah, that's what we needed there. Perfect. Great stuff, okay? Magnificent. And then, finally, let's select again those stack of objects. Go to Edit and Clone once again. Make copies. Move those across. But this time, we're going to rotate them to 90 degrees because we now want to have this midpoint there. The one which runs horizontally. Yeah, that one. Okay, yeah, we want it to run from that side. All right. Okay, because we want the fold to happen as well along this region. All right. And so here's what we're going to do. And first things first, these ones must only be drawn once the top and the bottom ones are sort of intersecting. So please rename these objects accordingly. Let me see. The last object that we named was F. Okay. So that one then can be renamed to G001. G underscore 001. Okay. That one can be H underscore 001. And that can be, of course, I underscore 001. Okay. Great stuff. And then, yeah, and then let's select both G, H, and I. Highlight all their keyframes and move them forwards in time, okay? And then we wait until when that happens, you see. So it's around there that they can actually kick in. There we go, okay? So it's around that point in time, okay? When those segments are intersecting. Yes, like that, okay? All right, that's the first thing. And then also, we're going to select that one there. Of course, delete the shell and extrusion. That one also delete the shell and extrusion. That one also delete the shell and extrusion. All right. Let's go back and select G. Okay. We need to duplicate them now along horizontally. All right. So, in fact, let's see what we can do with that. So we need to duplicate them along like that in the front view. So, to do that, let's first add back again an extrusion modifier. It will give us an idea as to how far we can go. Reduce it to something like that. Okay. Then let's go to Tools and Array and click Preview. Now you can see definitely we don't need to go high. So we're going to reduce that to 0. And instead we're going to work along the X-axis. Now this time we don't need too many. And I think just 10 of them will do. And adjust the values accordingly. And I think, along there. Yeah. Along a value of minus 71.12 in my case. So I'm going to keep this value here. Let's see, array on x-axis like that, and it's 10 copies. That way I know what to do, of course. All right. And then we click OK. We click cancel, okay? So that we can delete, of course, the extrude modifier. And then we go again to Tools, Array, Preview. Reduce that to 0 and paste the value that we had created earlier on the X-axis, like that. Make them, of course, only 10, of course. Make sure they're copies and click OK. All right. And let's see, I'm just hoping it didn't paste them in the wrong axis. Let's see. Yes, it has made a mistake of pasting them somewhere else. Let's undo. Please undo the create array option. Okay. And then we're going to do it again. Tools, array, click preview. Oh yeah, it has to be a minus value. So minus the value and then we click OK. Perfect, okay? Then we can go back to doing what we do best. Select the first one. And of course, add extrude. Add extrude. And shell modifier. There we go. We are back in business, okay? And I think this one's extrusion I'm going to reduce to 5 or 3. Okay, I just want it to be more busy on this one. And then, yeah, copy those values and begin to paste throughout like that, of course. Okay, keep doing that, of course, until you reach the 10th one. All right, this time we don't have to go through 17 of them. All right. All right, so I'm now on my 10th one. There we go. Okay, and maybe I just want to increase my extrusion here to 5 or 4. Okay, now I think at this point, I think let's see. Okay, no, it's fine. Let's continue. Let's bring our script once again. If you didn't close it, that is, of course. And let's see, where do we want it to start from? From that side. So pick your reference there. So there are G's. So, and then we're going to pick from, let's see. In fact, this time we're going to do something different. We're going to pick, we're going to select objects randomly. That way you can see how it will randomly create itself, okay? So we're going to select G07 and then 03 and then 010 and then 04. Like basically we're just running around, you know, we're just randomly selecting objects. Click OK. Save your file before it all goes bad. And of course, don't forget the offset timing. I'll set mine to 9. And then click transfer. Okay. Now, let's see what happens now. You see now how they are randomly creating themselves from various places, not just the first one. You see? You see now? That's what we intended to create. Yeah, you see? Some are coming early, some are coming late. You see that, eh? Great stuff, okay? Great stuff, all right? And then, let's see, that was G. We are now going to work on the H's. And let's see, based on the front view, let's go to Tools, Array, click Preview, click OK. And of course, we do the same things as before. We add extrusion and shelling, of course. Maybe set it to 5 this time, or 6. And shell. There we go. Okay. And of course, we do the same for the rest of them. Okay. And I had paused, so this is my 10th one, of course. All right. And of course, time to save the file before we animate. And again, pick reference. We're going for H001. Now this time, I think we want to follow in a linear form. So it will be from H002 to 10. Click OK. And I think we can click transfer. All right. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right. That's very fine. Okay. And then, of course, finally, there's I. Okay, to close it off completely. And let's see. Go to the front view, Tools, Array, Preview, and OK. And again, as before, we add extrusion. And we add shell. Okay, now this extrusion needs to be high. I think maybe a value of 8. Okay, because it's gonna close off the structure completely. And of course, we copy those, and as before, we paste them throughout for all the eyes. That's why I said this is really one of those processes, because we've mastered one thing we know we can do. We know it's just a repetition of what we did before, just to finish the look completely. Okay. Okay, and of course, save your file, as always. Okay, and as before, we're going to select that one. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to select that one and then pick reference. Basically it's going to be I001, and then we're going to pick from I002 to I010. From I002, there we go, and transfer. Let's see what that produces. Yeah, you can see of course how nicely it comes in to close everything else. There we go. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff indeed. Okay. Great stuff. Okay. I'm very pleased with this. And then basically what we've done now, if you were to create a preview, by the way, here's how you create a preview of everything we've done so far. First you save your file. Yeah, we go to tools, viewports, views, grab viewport, create animated sequence file. Now this might change depending on which version of 3D Max you are using. The names might be different or they might be placed elsewhere, but I know mine. I find it under tools, grab viewport, create animated sequence file. If you are lost, please just check 3D Max's help file. I'm sure it will show you where yours is. Okay, we're going to turn on highlights and textures and make it shaded, and the percentage output, make it the highest it can be, and of course it's the active time segment, which is the entire duration, and then click create. Then it's going to build for us a preview of what we've done so far. Okay, just give it time of course until it's at the end. By building a preview, it enables us to see sort of in real time what exactly have we created without first having to render and then realizing there were mistakes. So that's why we need to create previews. And then after you've done that, it's going to launch Windows Media Player, and you can of course see Windows Media Player showing us in video form exactly what we've created, you know. That way we can really judge what we've done, and I'm very pleased with our results of course. Look at that, eh? Great stuff. Okay, and then to get closer to the action, we can do the following. You can go to rendering, render setup. Then you can change your resolution to a high definition resolution, but because I'm recording a tutorial and for you guys to see it properly, I'm just going to go to 800 by 600, and then I'll go to tools, or rather I'll first click on perspective viewport and then select show save frames. Yeah, that way it shows us exactly what the camera will capture. And then we're going to zoom in really close like that. And then again, tools, grab viewport, MSC. It runs up to 250 frames. So let's just go to tools, grab viewport, create an animated sequence file. Now, the range, I will change it from 0 to 250 because that's how long the animation lasts, and create. So it's going to create yet another preview. But first, of course, please make sure the Windows Media Player is closed, or else it won't be able to override the file. Okay. So yeah, it's creating another preview. Aha, now you can see the quality is definitely sort of higher. Remember, this is just a preview. It's not a final output, okay? A preview of what you can expect to see when you actually render the file. It will really look like this, you know? And yeah, so that's what we've basically spent, I don't know how many minutes trying to create. And I hope definitely, of course, that you are very pleased with your result, that is. Okay. So yeah, we have this kind of slightly mechanical, slightly organic look and feel that we wanted to achieve. All right, great stuff. Okay, it's wonderful stuff. And of course, before you render, make sure you go to rendering, render setup, and change your resolution accordingly, yeah? Whether it's high definition or whichever resolution suits you best. Okay, so that you get, of course, what you want. All right. Now, for those of you who are new to 3D Max, how do you then, you might ask the question, how do you then decide to render this entire animation? Well, first of all, you need a couple of lights to light up your scene. And don't worry, I'm going to upload the final file onto the website so that you can open it and see how I built it on your side, okay? I've designed it using 3D Max 2012. So it's, if you have 3D Max 2013 or 14, and above, it will definitely open up for you. Okay. And before even creating lights, we need to change the render engine to mental ray so that it can give us those nice metallic textures, like shiny metallic kind of materials like that. You see, it looks nice like that when it doesn't look too plasticky. So to do that, we just go to rendering, render setup, and then let's bring this up. Now we scroll all the way down until we find this tab there, assign renderer. You see that? Click on the little plus button or just click on its name to expand it. Now, where it says production, please click on the three little dots there that says choose renderer. And then, if yours doesn't say mental ray, please select mental ray from the list there. For instance, let's say if maybe yours was saying that it's on scanline renderer, you just have to click there and then select mental ray renderer. Okay. Of course, you can use V-Ray or whatever renderer you're comfortable with, but for our case, we're going to use mental ray. Okay. That's the first thing. Secondly, we need to change the output size to something decent. As you can see from the presets, we've selected high definition because, I mean, we live in the modern world. Maybe if you're watching this tutorial in the future, of course, you might be rendering in 4K resolution. So, HD TV 1280 by 720, and I always select force two-sided. That's where our material always has the front and back textures applied, okay? And very crucial is the render output. Please click on Files, and then look for a folder where your renderer needs to be. And of course, you can create your own folder anywhere you want and then save things there, okay? You can create your folder anywhere you want. Let's see. This is really for people who are new to 3D Max, okay? So let's say we're going to call it folding. And then for the file type, we're going to select PNG. I like PNG because it can save the pictures with alpha channel, like with a transparent background, so that we can, of course, always change the background in After Effects. And then we'll click, sorry. Damn it, folding. Let me just go back where I was. Folding, we selected PNG. We say save. And then when this window pops up, of course, make sure alpha channel is turned on so that the render is created on a transparent background. Click OK. All right. And then you can minimize that. And then we need to change the material. So to do that, we go to Rendering, Material Editor, Compact Material Editor. Okay. It's going to open up the Material Editor. Now you can see I already have my materials applied. If you don't have a material applied yet, don't worry. You can just select any material which you want to use. Let's say this material that we created called Fold A. I'm going to make it look like an ordinary material. So in other words, I'm going to click on Arc and Design. You don't have to do this. Let me just do this for your sake. Let's just see. I'm changing my material back to the way it was so that you guys can see how I made it to be nice and shiny. So this material, before it became Arc and Design, it was saying that it is a standard material like that one. Okay? So it was saying that it's standard. What I did was I click on standard button and then I selected Arc and Design. There we go. Like that. And then for the color, I just selected the red color. Okay. It depends on you. You can choose any color you want. And we just change that color by click on the color button there. You can make it green, you can make it blue, you can make it whatever you want. Okay? Alright. And then for it to have nice reflections, what I did was I scrolled down under environment. Under environment. I clicked on the none button and then I looked for a bitmap. Bitmap. Now from the bitmap you can use what we call an HDRI image, high dynamic range image, which has a reflection map, or you can use, let's see, something built in with 3D Max. You can use, let's see something. Okay, let's see. I don't see a picture here that we can use for reflections. So let's see. So I'll just click cancel there and then go up. And then for the environments, what we can do is we can just right click on bitmap and clear. Unless you have a bitmap picture you can use, we're going to click on environment and just load the gradient. Okay, just load the gradient, and then yeah, that just to give you material much more feel. Okay, so that it doesn't just look plain. All right. Now as for the lighting, if we do a quick render test here, let's see what we get. Okay, so this is what we'll get if we do a quick render test. It's looking good, but it will look even better, of course, when there's light. So to create light, we just click on the little light icon there. It's next to the camera's icon. And then where it says photometric, please look for a standard light, mental ray omni, and then turn on auto grid, and then just draw a light there. And then for us to see just how the light will look in the render, where it says shaded, just click on the shaded button and then turn on realistic. Okay, click on realistic again, and then lighting and shadows. Can you see we've turned on illuminate with scene light? Sometimes you will not see the impact of the light in the scene because maybe yours is set at illuminate with default light. So please make sure it's illuminate with scene light, so that way, of course, you see we can then see in real time the impact of the light in our scene. Okay, great stuff. Then go to the modify tab, press render again, or the little teapot icon there, and there we go. So this is our render, and you can see, of course, the shadows being cast on our object. Yeah, you see that. That's because, of course, of the light that we have in the scene. You see that, eh? Now, maybe you may notice that the light is only affecting one side. In other words, maybe you want the light to illuminate also on the sides of the object. What we do is you can always create another light and position them, you know, around. And maybe these lights, you don't want them to have shadows anymore, okay? Because maybe you just want only shadows to be coming from one side only. And even this one here, we're going to turn off the shadows. Maybe this light you wanted to sit at the very top, you know? See? So that way, of course, now your scene is much more lit up from different angles, okay? And by the way, when you open the file which is attached to this tutorial, the completed file, you will notice I have many cameras in the scene. To switch between different cameras, you can either press C on the keyboard and it will show you all kinds of the cameras that I have set up, or you can just click on V-Ray physical cameras, camera B. You see, those are the different angles of the renders that I've created. And don't worry, you don't need V-Ray to render this. You can just use Mental Ray, which is built in with 3D Max. And you can see, of course, this is another angle that we have assigned, okay? And yeah, after that, of course, you just go to rendering, render, and then that's the window. And then, yeah, we then decide how long do we want to render. Of course, you can choose the active time segments of 0 to 300 frames, depending, of course, on just how long your animation actually is. And then you just hit the big render button there. And after you click that, of course, it will start the rendering process. All right. But as I said, I'm going to upload the final file so that you guys can open and see how you can use it for yourself. Okay.